Hey, journalism staff, Walter Bound, um, recording from my dining room. So I want to go over, there's really two videos I want to do today. Whether I get both done today or not, I'm not sure. But I want to do, let's just take a look at our website. The first thing I want to do is take a look at what has made 4 stories win Best of Snow. And so I go over here to the dashboard. So what I've been doing is submitting 3 stories a day. So I've submitted 54. 3 are now in review. 4 have been published. So if you take a look, these are the ones that are eligible. We got Arnstein, Gutterman, Arnstein. We have all these stories that are eligible. And then we have stories that are ineligible for a variety of things. All right. Shots from quarantine. Well, this one doesn't have any story to it. It's just post body. That means post copy. All right. Staying home in style. There's no featured image. All right. So in order for this, for me, this could be a fantastic article and be a winner, but there's no featured image. It could be it was just forgotten or, any number of reasons. All right. Global cases. Now this is, every article has to be over 300 words. If it's not eligible, right? It also has no caption for the featured image, all right? So we need a caption. The captions need to be over 10 words. Same thing here, Earth Day. Now, some of these are okay. They don't need to be eligible. It's just what we have. Like this one was a short obituary. It was under 300 words, and that's okay. But if you're looking through here, and you want to say, Mr. Bound, how come you haven't submitted my story or whatever? Like writer's name does not contain author's first name. These are problems that we can solve. Okay, that oftentimes I've gone in and found a photo or put the author in because it was so good. And if it's over 90 days, it's too late. Okay. Let's take a look. I tried to submit stories today. These are the ones you could see. Like I submitted Adam's piece about podcasts that was not accepted. They only accept, I think they said 5% of most submissions. So if you're not accepted, guys, don't say, oh, I'm awful. No, they just publish the ones that they think are, really, really good. And let's take a look at submission guidelines. Okay, must be 300 words in length, with the exception of video submissions. I have not submitted any video submissions. Stories must have a featured image, and that a featured image must have a caption of at least 10 words and a photo credit. Again, that's very important, right? Even if it's from CNN, you need a credit. Stories must have a byline. That means your first and last name. Stories must be submitted within 90 days, and a maximum of 3 stories can be submitted. So the requirements are not that they're baseline requirements. So they could be reviews. They could be really anything that we have on our website. Let's take a look at the ones that have been published. Okay, let's go to let's go to Blackboard University. All right, this was Ava's piece. This was April 27th, so not that long ago. This is what I like about, this is why I think it was selected. Okay, number 1, Blackboard University, insight into the lives of college students amidst a global pandemic. It's topical, right? It's relevant to a high school audience. It's timely. And it's not, Princeton. It's called Blackboard University because colleges use this thing called Blackboard, it's like we have Power School, right? We have students at George Washington, American, and University of Wisconsin share their remote school learning experiences. We have the kicker here, right, which is the subdeck. We have a photo. Sharon Wood gave this to Ava. And then here we have a caption, okay? We have the byline. Shannon Wood's sophomore was everything she had dreamed of. So we have a good hook. Okay, we have good development. right? It flows very nicely, right? There's interviews, said Wood, another interview here, another interview here from Monsi. This is a very good piece. And I know when Ava wrote this, I'm like, oh boy, this is really, really, really good. So I made sure this was submitted as soon as I saw she had it finished. I think I posted it and made sure that this was submitted. This makes this a very good piece. All right, it does. It has all the bells and whistles, and then she has a closing quote right here, which is great. All right, lots of development. All right, this is something that took time. It took interview. It takes outreach. It takes research. It takes reaching out to people, and that's why this one did so well. So, whoop, okay. So congratulations, Ava. Let's take a look at another one that was accepted. You Can't Mask the Good. This is from Val. Okay, again, it's topical, right? It's COVID. Right? I know 99% of us, 100% of us are tired of hearing about it. But guess what? That's what we're talking about. That's everything right now. Is it everything? No, but it's topical. So here we have an alumni. All right. Alumni stories are fantastic. Okay. Sophie was also, a journalism student. So this was a very well done piece. She's making masks. She's a nursing student at Jefferson. And there's some logos here about the cases in Camden County. There have been 86 total fatalities. What I did is reading through this piece and editing, I said, okay, there's this unprecedented tragedies of the 21st century. Okay. But what are the actual statistics? So I helped Val, or I put these in here, just updating some things. So as an editor, I'm like, okay, I think this just needs a few minor tweaks. Let me do a little research. I just Google searched, NewJersey.gov COVID and found out as of right now, April 22nd, New Jersey death toll stands at this. Now, if this dropped now, this would be updated. Okay. Again, use said. All right. Sophie is a nursing student, and I wanted to do something. Ferguson said, not says. Some of you are still using says. That comma comes inside. So a few times, not a few times, many times, I'm going through and just updating these things. Now, is it a big deal? No. But if you provide clean copy for your editor or for me to post this up on the website, that would be great. Okay. So this thing has everything going for it. It's local. The What's Up Voorhees people love this. It was great for Sophie. She said, oh, Mr. Baum, thank you so much. I'm like, hey, thank you. You're doing something great for the community. You find a need and you supply, what can help people, right? So it has an economic benefit. So in journalism, oftentimes it's an economic benefit. It's like, okay, let's do a little publicity, especially for one of our own alumni. Let's take a look at Making Eastern Proud. This one is our most popular story right now. I can show you why. And Matt's been working on this for a while. Making Eastern Proud. Logan Ryan doesn't forget his roots. NFL player, one of my former students, a great kid. Also, a really good poet, by the way. Before he was a two-time Super Bowl champion, all-star cornerback and third-round pick, Ryan was one of us. He was an Eastern Viking. Oh, this is great. People from Eastern, alumni, What's Up Voorhees, they just ate this up. Okay. And what I loved about Matt's piece is he talked to the coaches, Coach Dan Spittle, he was here, Hill, okay, Coach Hill, Vice Principal Hill, we have Spittle, we have Talarico. Oh, that's a spell. I thought I caught all that. That Talarico, I can't fix it on the snow site, but I could fix it on our site. I think I actually did fix it on our site. Coach Dawson, and he also got Ryan down here. So I was saying, hey, Matt, can you get something from Ryan? And he did. And so he was able to interview him, even if it's through a text, a tweet, however he got it. And that made it like, okay, that's really good now. And I can show you when I'm done going through these 4 articles. So again, It's local. This is a feel-good story. It has nothing to do with COVID. This is absolutely nothing. Matt started with this before he was COVID was even a thing. It's just one of those things where, okay, alumni stories are great, whether they're, a student who's now a CEO of his own business or her own business, or, an athlete. Let's take a look at one more article. And this is really the first time I started submitting things to Snow. So these are the first Voyager articles that were ever featured on Snow. Okay, this is the Schinkel one. This is a fantastic piece. For some reason, this never made it into the print edition. I'm not sure why. Okay, it's basically darts on steroids, axe throwing with Mr. Bradley. First off, great photo. All right, Mr. Bradley gave us that. Okay, for 2 years, Mr. Kevin Bradley has been throwing axes as a hobby. If I were to redo this, I would probably put a quote here. I would probably find something that he said that really stood out and just copy and paste it in here. Okay, great lead. Hands-on expertise, saws, machines, and woodworking, cameras. He has a vast experience. But what many do not know is that Bradley is in a rather unique hands-on sport. Ooh, there's a bit of suspense. Like, well, what is that? Okay, boom, axe throwing right here. Okay, axe throwing is not your basic recreational activity. In Bradley's word, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then it's in nice, manageable paragraphs, lots of quotes. We have, look at this, we have statistics. There are 10.8 million axes thrown in 2018, 275 axe throwers. Okay. There are 2 axe throwing places in Cherry Hill, Choppers, and then the Hatchet House. I've been at Choppers and it's fun. I mean, they had, I was there with Mr. Bradley and brought the girls and Mrs. Bound, and we had a good time. And so it's really cool, right? So that's why this piece also won. Again, it's talking about an Eastern person, so it's local, right? This has nothing to do about COVID. You can find stories like this if you don't want to write about COVID stories, and I totally understand. And that's really, really cool. Let me now show you. And they don't give you why something was not, they don't say like, well, it didn't win because of this reason. It's not like you get a review, right? Let's go to the dashboard. Let's just see what our, okay, I'm sorry, this is taking so long for a second. All right. All right, most of you don't know what this dashboard looks like, but what we can do is take a look at some, I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. Most viewed stories. All right, so that Logan Ryan story has had 571 views. We're going on a bear hunt. All right, that was Sasha's piece. The reason that has so many views is that I posted that story to What's Up Voorhees. All right, so if you want people to view your article, all right, that's a great idea. You can't mask the good, 160 views. Okay, again, that's another piece I submitted to What's Up Voorhees, and I just posted it there. Matt did his own thing here, and I was on on Facebook, and suddenly I see this pop up, and like everyone's like, really, really liking it and retweeting it. This is another one. It's one long intermission on Broadway. This is from Faith Sardashny. This I've seen on Facebook. I did not post this one, right? But someone else, Faith, her mom, someone posted this, and that's why it gets views. Okay. The analogy is this: you have a restaurant. If you don't advertise, you'll have no customers. So you need to take charge. And if your piece is good, and like you have a great restaurant or you have a great product, you need people to buy it or to read it. Okay. So you can go through all of these and see which ones get the most views. These are like the trending stories, again, nothing too different. Site analytics, this is our views. So when a story drops, right, like here, right, 810 views, which is pretty cool. We only print 800 copies of the print newspaper. So if we're getting 810 page views, that's better than we get with our printed newspaper, right? So there's lots of benefits to going online, number one, is that we can just publish every single day and we can update daily, which we have been doing. And then it drops, of course. And then when the next round of really good articles come out, this shoots up. Right? And it gives you all bunch of, how many users, how many new users, the average time spent on a page, 62 seconds. Well, let's probably, probably could do a little bit better than that, but still it's not bad. All right, let's take a look at, let's go to the actual website. So for editors, when I'm looking at this page, okay, like breaking news, this might be updated because it's March 26th and we're now in May. So this probably needs to be updated. This article is April 27th. That's fine. April 22nd. That's fine. This is fine. And of course, Jonah published this. Global cases soar past 3 million. Recent comments. These are all different people who have commented on the story. So editors, you can always respond to posts, right? So if I click on this, oh, sorry, this is lagging a little bit. I don't know really why that's doing that. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the, okay, so far, polls, we need to have a poll here, okay? This is fine, April 29th. What I love about Aaron and Jonah here, they've been doing a lot of podcasting for us. So this was just, I think this was just published yesterday, 2 days ago, May 1st, okay? And these different tweets, all right? Sometimes I send them out. Most of the time I'm sending them out. We have lots of entertainment. These are all mostly timely. There's nothing too old here, right? Antonia's piece. What I don't like is, number one, let's go down here. And this is something that Matt or Ava can look into, like the Voyager online or the issue is a little old, like right here, like Voyager print, April 2019. That's a year old. I mean, that's crazy. We need to update that. I love to have our quarantines on here. We have SoundCloud, but we really need to have our quarantines. We have some of them on here, of course, up here for narratives and things like that, quarantines. But the podcasting stuff, we need to have a little bit more going on. Okay. If you want to see just how much you have published and how much you've contributed as a staff member, you can always go on the staff page. And let's go to Andrew. All right, and you can see everything he's done, April 29th, April 28th, March. So there's lots of different pieces here. Okay. And that gives me, it gives yourself, like, well, how valuable I am to the Voyager. And everyone has a role to play, okay? Whether it's writing entertainment pieces, and we go to entertainment, and we have Faith, we have Laura, we have Adam, we have Claire, we have Faith. We have a special, one of Mrs. Bound's fashion students. I think we have a picture for this. So these are all the different entertainment pieces. And we have a bunch, all right? We have a ton of entertainment pieces. What I'd really like to see more is opinion pieces. We don't have that many opinion pieces. These two are probably the most hard-hitting opinion pieces that we've had. These are more commentary, but very, very interesting. But not what I would say, they're more commentary. Of course, we have the narrative pieces. We have lots of sports articles, especially with sports during the pandemic. Sportscopolis. I think this was Arnstein. Let me see. Yeah, it's Arnstein here. 49. That's the number of consecutive days suffered through without sports. Good hook. That's a very good hook. And look, published April 30th. when I go online and I see things that are just like that topical, and I look through it, I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great. All right, it's good stuff. So this might be something I submit. And then, of course, we have the caption, and we have the credit here. So this is something that I will either submit or whatever soon, or I might have done it already. So think about, how you can write an article that can become one of these. Okay. It just takes some asking questions and coming up with a really good story. What's up, Voorhees? And, I always have ideas in Mr. Bound. I'm looking for an idea. What do you got? You ask me. I give you some leads about alumni doing stuff, and, what are teens doing, college students, how will COVID change academics, or kids who are going to New York thinking not going to New York in the fall. What will the fall semester look like? There's a whole bunch of so many questions, right? And more opinion articles would be really, really needed, especially people that are protesting stay-at-home orders and armed militias, saying, you can't make us stay home. So what do you do in a democracy? It's very, very tricky. So think about those types of things. Take care, everyone. And my next video will be about scare headlines. I haven't been reading the Inquirer because I don't like. No, I've been reading the Inquirer, but we'll take a look at some of their headlines that I've not been too happy with. All right, take care, everyone. Bye bye.